Some of my earliest memories related to plants are eating dirt from my mom's flower bed, having my foot run over by my grandfather's tractor, ouch, and helping my grandmother pick vegetables from her garden, and maybe catching a praying mantis or two. Oh, and drawing pictures of flowers. Then when I was 10, our family moved from rural Pennsylvania to Phoenix, Arizona. I had to have a cactus to bring along on the long, arduous journey in the back of a station wagon. Once we got settled into our new home, I planted that first cactus in our front yard. Little did I know at that point that it would be the beginning of a lifelong journey in pursuit of the perfect desert garden. Fast forward a few years and I found myself working as a landscaper, digging holes, shoveling rock, planting trees and cactus. That was my summer job all through high school, and although I eventually started working in the electronics field, I never gave up my passion for plants, or my eventual dream of having a botanical garden of my own. All the houses that I lived in over the years have trees growing in their yards that I grew from seed. Most of the cactus are still there as well, although with each house my collection of desert plants grew in number. To the point where our last move, we filled a 26-foot truck 3 times with plants, and we still had to go back once with a trailer for the larger ones. I should mention at this point that my wife thinks I'm just a little bit obsessed. Our new yard was a blank slate, although it was full of the ugliest rock imaginable and not so much as a weed growing. So with a skeptical eye, my wife listened to my grandiose plans for the yard and then watched as it slowly transformed into a miniature botanical garden. When it was done, she proclaimed,
"Remember that dream of yours about having a botanical garden?
"Yeah,
Well, you should build one."
I just did."
No, silly. A real botanical garden that everyone can enjoy.
So I dusted off the plans for Arid Land Botanical Garden. Pretty cool name, huh? I had come up with about 15 years ago and started reworking them. Our goal for this project is multifaceted and includes a botanical garden, an art gallery for local artists to promote their art, a rock and mineral gallery specializing in fluorescing rocks, and a library for botanical study, and eventually, a natural healing center. The primary goals of the botanical garden will be to raise the awareness of drought-resistant plants as our environment becomes increasingly drier. Also to provide a place of beauty and solitude for both people and nature to enjoy. And finally, to propagate endangered species of plants in order to repopulate their natural environment. Additionally, the garden will be laid out in such a way that visitors will be able to see plants that normally grow together in the same habitat, transforming our current desert environment into exhibits including a South African tree aloe forest, a Mexican cactus forest, a Bolivian desert plateau, and Australian outback exhibits, to name just a few. And this is where all of you come in. My wife and I bring many years of experience in business and operations management, project management, as well as decades of plant growing, transplanting, and propagating experience to the table. But we will need your help to bring this dream to reality. The real estate is the largest initial expense to the start of a botanical garden, which is why we are asking for your help. Because of the scope and the time frame of the project, we're going to split it up into phases. The first phase will be to raise the funds for the land. We currently have just over 100 trees growing from seed and hundreds of cactus and succulent plants from around the world in our collection that are slated for this project. Despite that sounding like a really big number of plants, we will need to supplement thousands of additional plants. I should mention at this point, only plants grown from seed or propagated from plants growing in the U.S. will be used. No plants will be taken from their natural habitat outside the United States and transplanted into the garden. This is not without risk for us, as we plan to continue working our day jobs, then transition to living off our combined savings while the garden is being built, and the plants are growing to a decent size for viewing by the public. This will take at least 3 years, or maybe longer. We have completed all of the required paperwork for both the state and federal governments. created social media accounts and a website, as well as support of artists, rock hounds, and local nursery owners who will be providing any additional plants needed.
While this dream has been a dream of ours for a very long time, our hope is you would like to help.
Not just by promoting conservation, but by literally adding trees to the biosphere. And possibly, in the long run, saving plants from extinction in their natural habitat.
Thank you.